Welcome back to the Wealth of Wellness. If you are struggling with a breakup, today's guest has some great information for you. Sarah Curnoles is a certified life coach helping recently single women turn their breakup into the best thing that ever happened to them. Sarah's signature method, from hot mess to badass, guides clients through healing and into creating a life beyond their wildest dreams. Prior to coaching, Sarah worked backstage and in the offices of professional theaters in Baltimore, Maryland. She currently lives as a digital nomad exploring the world. Learn more about Sarah on her website, sarahcanoles.com, or check out her podcast, Breakup Pep Talks. Sarah, welcome to my channel.
Oh, Amy, I am so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to be having this conversation in particular. So, thank you.
Yeah, it's a very important topic. And I'm sure a lot of women are struggling through a breakup or a divorce or something. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, and thank you so much for the introduction. So, you hear a little bit about I come from a background in theater, and I think where I really excelled at that was it was a lot about me organizing chaos and turning it into art, right? And when I came to my coaching career, I realized that's my gift. My gift is seeing the art in the chaos. And when you're going through that kind of a life situation of a divorce or a breakup, and you're facing what feels like total blackness, I find I can be the person that brings light into that situation. I bring hope and I help guide people through it. And I was just talking to somebody the other day. It's not just a light at the end of the tunnel, it's like your oasis is there at the end of this tunnel for you. And I help people see that that's possible.
I love that.
Yeah.
Such a common problem because when you are struggling, you're in that survival mode and everything's kind of dark and depressing, right? And stressful.
Yeah.
So I love that you can
Yeah.
help pull women out of that.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about the statistics of divorce and breakups because I know it's high. So tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah. So the interesting thing that I found was actually almost 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And when I heard that statistic, I thought, oh, that actually makes sense. Because what I see in women, especially mothers, we are overgiving. We are taking care of all the things. And we are doing all of this physical labor, emotional labor, all of this support. We're doing it quietly for years and years and years. And at a certain point, it becomes quiet suffering and we don't know how to get out. We don't know how to get out of this pattern. And that suffering turns into, I can't take this anymore.
Mhm.
So that pattern, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense to me. I see this happening all the time with women who are like, I can't take this anymore. I have to get out. I can't keep sacrificing myself because my health is suffering, right? How many, did you know autoimmune disorders are really only something that affect women? I'm sure you know this. Like you probably talk about this all the time. But no wonder with the way that we're quietly suffering for so long. And and also because your podcast is for moms, so many moms are the ones that end up with the majority of custody, right? So
Mhm.
they're continuing to take care of their family household, except now they're doing it as a single parent. And so it just feels like a lot of a burden. I can really relate to all of that.
Yeah, it definitely is. And here's something you may not know, but as we approach our late 30s, early 40s, and our hormones start shifting, like that perimenopause time, one of the hormones that shifts is oxytocin, which initially
Oh.
it's released when you have a baby and you're nursing and you're snuggling with your husband or your kid or whatever. So that's the bonding hormone, and that hormone starts to drop um, in the late 30s, early 40s, that time. And that's when people are like, you know what? I just don't care anymore. So, yeah, there is a biology to it. um, which I
Okay,
learned
so
about recently.
I did not know oxytocin dropped as we got older, but this also makes a lot of sense because what happens after you go through the divorce or after you go through a breakup, even if you're the one that initiates it, it feels so awful. It feels so bad. And a lot of women end up feeling shame of like, I asked for this. Why does this feel so bad? And there really is a biological factor that does happen when you go through divorce. Heartbreak is real. Like we do actually feel physical pain during these times. And of course, there's going to be a drop in oxytocin. So if it's already dropping because of age and then it drops because you've left this emotional support, even if it wasn't a great situation, it was still, it was supportive. It was comfort on some level.
Yeah,
That's a
it was comfort.
massive drop. Right. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're not crazy if you feel like this. It is part of
Yeah.
your biology. um,
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, you just gave me a whole other level to my work. So thank you.
yeah. So talk about what you see when the moms or the women come to you and they're maybe going through a breakup or just ended, a long-term relationship or something. What are you seeing with those women?
It's extreme stress. And
Mhm.
I think if I could just throw this out there to your audience, the people watching, or if you're listening, um, anybody out there, if you're either doubting that you want a divorce because you're scared of the stress, or if you're in that process and you're like, this is too much to bear, like you're not alone. That's actually very, very common. Because just think of everything we just described, you know, and I want you to take whatever your experience and say, of course, I'm having this level of stress. I'm handling a lot right now. And and also it is possible to manage it. I think what people, when they first come to me, they have their laundry list of like, here's everything that's wrong. And I get it. Like it feels like a lot to handle. And it's almost like we pick it off one at a time. Like we're going to pick this one. We're going to pick off this domino. We're going to let this domino, we're going to work it out or we're going to let it fall, right? We're going to work through it. Um, but it is an extremely stressful time. And I hope people get a little bit of reassurance knowing it's not you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's not that you're not strong enough. Um, it is stressful and there's ways to manage it.
Yeah. So can you talk about some of the ways that these women can manage the stress?
Yeah. So, like you said in my intro, my process is from hot mess to badass. And what I really help people do is embrace each phase. One of the things that is almost radical for moms is I tell them to embrace the hot mess phase. We're used to embracing hot mess. So I'm not a mother, I'm a godmother. So I step in and I help my friends. But there's a level of I'm willing to accept mess in my home. I'm willing to accept mess with my kids. I, however, have to hold it all together, right? Like I have to be the strong one. I have to be okay. And if nothing else, when I work with somebody, I give them an hour of like, you can be a total hot mess with me, and this can be your little haven of you can fall apart here. And we all need that because that first phase, what you're really going through with a breakup or a divorce, it's an identity change. You are going to be a totally different person on the other side of it. And the very first phase is you do have to fall apart a little bit because what once was is not going to be what you are going forward. I mean, I use the caterpillar to butterfly analogy a lot. And that caterpillar, that very first phase of change, it goes into the cocoon and it has to completely dissolve form. It turns into goo, right? That's like a
Yeah.
hot mess. Yeah. And that cocoon actually provides structure and support and comfort while it's goo. Like that cocoon has a function. And most women don't know how to create that cocoon for themselves. And that's really that's the first step of when you're in a hot phase, you have to sort of be like, okay, this is where I'm at. I'm gonna embrace it. Like, I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I hate all these feelings, and it's where I am, and it's okay. And how do I create a little cocoon for myself, whether it's like crying in the shower, or you have a therapy appointment, or you have a coaching appointment, or you cry in your car. Like, I don't care what it is. You need some sort of container to let yourself be a hot mess. So
Right.
that's really like the first step is give yourself that permission.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier that you, because of your background, you take people from that chaos into something beautiful. So talk about that.
Yeah, so I find there really is a process. There are steps. That's just the first step. The second step is we start, if you're a caterpillar becoming a butterfly, we want to start changing your molecules. We want to start playing with like, what is my butterfly version of me look like? I call it the badass, right? Because especially for women, you are a badass for going through this. Like, don't neglect how hard this is. Like, don't overlook that. Give yourself some credit. So what is your badass version on the other side of this change? So we play with that. The third phase is we really create a protocol around how do I detach from my past, right? What is this new version going to look like? Are we co-parenting? Are we no contact? Like, was it toxic? And we have to be really strict with our boundaries, right? Like, we have to decide what that is. And also, what are the beliefs that are going to be very supportive? The thoughts that you're thinking, the stories you're telling yourself, the meaning you're giving everything, right? To help you move forward. Um, and I find what a lot of people are familiar with, it's in the workbooks, it's in therapy, it's in like any journaling exercise. It's always about looking backwards. But I find for a divorce or a breakup, we really have to think towards that oasis, right? Towards that butterfly, because your mind is wired to attach to pleasure and to attach to like the positive things. We grab on that, right? We want it, especially women. And if the best thing is in the past, you're going to grab onto that, right? You're going to keep thinking of like, that's the best situation I ever had. Why did I ever leave? And you can't always keep looking backwards. We got to turn you forwards. We got to have you forward facing of what's ahead of you. So getting really clear on what that is, I help women to clarify that and find a healthy, I don't want to use the word attachment because of attachment styles, but like commitment, a commitment to moving towards that.
I love that. And
Yeah.
I do the same thing with just women dealing with their own health issues, right? Like if you're not feeling great and then all of a sudden you feel good, like I have people telling me, "Oh, I feel like a new woman." Um, and so I definitely see that transformation as you change in your relationship status, you're kind of working through a new schedule and new responsibilities, maybe, and this and that. So
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
true.
When people go through a health journey, it's so clear that like new version of you of like, oh, I feel good in my body or I feel good in my clothes or whatever that might be. And I love when a woman makes that click in this process of like, oh, I can feel that good. Like I can feel that good because of the way that I'm talking to myself or because of the way I'm like moving in the world, right? Or because I feel like a badass because I let myself cry in the shower this morning, right? Like we can always find that awesome feeling woman inside.
Yeah. And it's not an overnight process, right? It does take time. Um, but it sounds like you're like helping gently pull them through all the phases that they need to go through.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most misunderstood pieces of healing is yes, there is an element of things take time, but I think what happens is people say, "Oh, give it time," or like time heals all wounds, right? But what I find it's what you choose to do with the time that really makes a difference. I I have a client who came to me and it's been 3 years since her divorce and she asked for it. and they're co-parenting. And she said she spent every day of those 3 years wondering if she made the right choice and beating herself up of like, did I let go of a good man? And when we worked together, what she really came to was, no, I made the best choice for me and for my daughter to show her I don't have to settle. I can choose something better for me. And, uh, you know, having it's not about like, right? 3 years is a long time. 3 years is a long time. And so anybody would be like, I should have been over it by now. And that was sort of what she was saying too, of like, I should be over it by now. It's not the amount of time, it's what you do with it.
Yep. Totally agree
Yeah.
with that. I love that.
Yeah.
Because you could stay in that time like for 10 years, right? And feel the same
Right. Right. So
if you
I'm going
don't
to say,
change
I think
anything.
we've been working together 4 months, and I'm going to say after 2 months. So, right, it was the amount, we worked very smart for 2 months. We got her actually, she got a new job, and that gave her a sense of purpose and fulfillment in her life. And her relationship wasn't the main thing, and being a mother wasn't the main thing. It's a big thing, but it's not the only thing about her. So she found this new purpose in a job where she teaches music to children, to school, after school programs. And it lights her up so much that it let all the nonsense drop away. So she
Yeah,
went from 3 years of struggle to like 2 months, and she's a new person.
nice. And
Yeah,
that's the benefit of working with a coach, right? Like it's exponential growth and just like fast forward through it.
totally.
Um, Amazing. So for the women who maybe are going through that messy middle part of it where, maybe they're not fully divorced yet or they're still contemplating, what do you tell them?
What I tend to do is I like to identify patterns, right? If we can see what are the patterns happening either in your spouse's behavior, right? The people are pretty predictable. Unless we choose to put the effort into change, they're going to be pretty predictable. So what have the patterns been? And if this pattern never changes, what do I want to do with that information? To me, life is about patterns and decisions. And most of us go through life blind to both. We never look at the patterns and we never make decisions. We just sort of like float one thing to the next. And for the woman who's ready to really change her life, we want to start looking at what are the patterns, which ones work, which ones don't. And then how do I make decisions? How do I start making more decisions, right? When you start making decisions, even if they're not the right ones, I mean, honestly, the secret, the secret is there's no such thing as a right or wrong decision. There's just decisions and then consequences that come from those. And then the decisions are going to change your patterns, and you're going to
Mhm.
start changing the results that you get in your life. Um,
Yeah.
and so I know people are like, they want an answer. I'm not going to give you an answer. I'm going to show you patterns and what are your decisions, and I'll help you make decisions. Because that's really where a woman starts taking charge of her life and steps into her power.
Yeah. And it's not cookie cutter, right? It's very individualized to whatever they're dealing with, whatever their patterns are. And yeah. So,
Correct. Yeah, because I've had women come to me who said in our first call, I want a divorce. I'm going to leave my husband. And we do our groundwork in that first session. And the second week, she came to me and she said, I want to stay. And I said, cool. Let me support you. We're going to pivot. We're going to change. Um, and the amazing thing is, the funny, the work is actually the same. She needed to love herself in that relationship and carve out space for herself in her home. So it started with arranging her closet the way she wanted. And then from there, she was like, I want to go through yoga teacher training. So she signed up for teacher training just for herself. And then she's like, I want to spend more time with my daughter and I miss horseback riding. They signed up for horseback riding lessons together. It's her adult daughter. So they did that together. And then she signed up for a trip by herself with a group, like not with her husband, I should say, to go to India with her yoga teachers. right?
Nice.
Like, and she's like, my marriage is completely different than it
Yeah.
was before because she wasn't making space for herself.
Yep. Totally agree with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed a difference in my own relationship when I healed my own physical symptoms too, right? Like just feeling better. And now, you learn about gratitude and you learn about appreciating all the small things. And I'm starting to see that in my relationship also that yeah, there's a change.
I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah. You can
So
focus on the
you
negative of what's wrong, or you can focus on what's right and what do I want to
exactly.
expand.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah. Yep.
Totally.
Yeah, and it can change your whole, even if your environment and your situation doesn't change, the way you look at it changes, right? And the way you take it in and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So now you have a podcast called Breakup Pep Talks. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So I want to be that place for women to come to get information and then take action from it. I think the most important thing is that I try to change a little bit of how you're thinking about the situation and then give you something that you can actually do. Because, like I said, it's about choices. It's when you start making choices and taking action steps, that's when you start seeing change instead of feeling stuck in the problem.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So that's really
yeah.
the mission of my podcast.
Yeah. So if anybody's listening and they want to go check it out, it's called Breakup Pep Talks. Take a listen and now talk about a free gift that you want to offer our listeners.
Yes. So I really want to spoil your listeners. I want these moms to feel really, really supported. So I would love to offer the first 10 women to take me up on this will get a private consultation call with me. In that call, I shouldn't call it a consultation because it is, but it's really about your breakthrough. How can I help you see what are your patterns? What are the areas where you're getting really stuck? And then I'll present your opportunities for breakthrough and what that could look like on the other side so that you have that vision of what's my badass or what's my butterfly, right? So you can see everything clearly and make the best decision possible for yourself. So that's what I would really love to offer for your listeners, Amy.
I love that. So tell us how we can contact you and find you.
Yes. So I'm going to give you the link, of course, so you can put it in the notes, but you can also come to my website and claim a free call there. My website is just sarahcurnoles.com. Or you can come over to my Instagram. I hang out on Instagram. If you're not quite ready for a little personalized attention, that's totally fine. Come on over to my Instagram. We can hang out there. You can get some really great tips on there as well. And it's just at Sarah Curnoles.
Perfect. And I will put all the links down in the description box so people can just find you easily. Um, I think this was a really great conversation. I think it was, very needed in this time, day, and age. And like you said, there's a lot of women who are just dealing with this. So I'm really happy to see what you're doing out in the world. So thank you, Sarah, for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm so honored that I got to talk with you today, Amy, and share hopefully a little bit of relief for the women listening who may have needed it.
Yeah. And if you're even questioning it a little bit, get in touch with Sarah and she can help you. Like she had one lady who changed her mind, right? So maybe you
Right.
just need some clarity and guidance and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help.
Awesome. Yeah, so thank you again for joining me and you guys will see me in another video.
Bye.